Hey everybody, welcome back to this amazing channel. It's November the 15th, 2022, and I completed yet another 5K for, I guess, the purpose of measurement. That is 3.107 miles. I actually went 3.87 miles, and I was trying to complete the 5K distance in under 1 hour to keep things consistent, because I'm planning to, I guess, to register in the Rock and Roll Marathon's 10K, which I'm also able to complete under the allotted amount of time because I am able to complete a 5K in well under an hour, and I'm easily able to cover the distance of the 10K at the same pace. Now, that doesn't really mean it's a lot to celebrate, because I'm spending a lot of time running and then slowing down so that I can catch my breath, running and then slowing down so that I can, again, catch my breath. And that's the part that I want to eliminate at some point. So anyway, today, the experience for me was much more fun, much more satisfying, because I have a pair of actual trail running shoes now, and those made a world of difference. At first, when I was running on these trails, I was using hiking shoes, which are much heavier, and although they're sturdy, they're not quite made for that nimble and I guess the fleet footing that's required when you're running through terrain with rocks and all kinds of other obstacles, roots, things like that, things you would encounter on a trail. But I had a lot of fun today. It was 50 degrees outside, so it was kind of chilly. I was wearing just shorts and a t-shirt along with my fancy running shoes, and I had a good time. I felt a little different today than on the other days, probably because it was cold outside. So running when it's cold outside is definitely a part of acclimating to being able to do these things during no matter what the conditions are outside. So if you're just starting out, if you're kind of like me, or you might not have ever tried this before, I would strongly recommend first opting to get the right gear. Try to find some trail running shoes if you're going to be running on trails. Try to find some running shoes if you're going to be running on pavement, if you're going to be running on a treadmill. And then you can almost probably bypass some of the obstacles that I encountered at first, such as experiencing pains on the bottoms of my feet, pains in my shins, pains in my knees, and you can kind of skip all that and go straight to muscle fatigue so that you can feel a little bit challenged when you're standing up after running a good distance, even if it happens to only include intervals of running rather than running a full 3.107 miles. So my goal is to eventually be able to run that entire distance. I don't see not being able to achieve that. I do see that it's going to take some time, but in the meantime, since I'm still well on pace to qualify for participating in events like the 5K or the 10K, whether it's the Rock and Roll Marathon or what have you, I have a lot of positive feelings about what I'm doing on this journey and this particular aspect of what it is that I'm trying to do. Health is wealth, and right now this is part of my wealth building process. Some of the additional steps that I believe are required are steps that maybe other people might be able to help me to complete, such as furthering the communication with some of the people who have yet to communicate with me about the things that they want to communicate about. And I say that because I keep getting receiving different contacts from certain people who want to talk about things, but for whatever reason, They don't want to talk about the things that I want to talk about. They only want to talk about what their interests are. Those are what I like to call energy vampires. There are a lot of people who will try to take your time and your efforts for granted without even knowing it. Anyway, so just a few tips, but the first and foremost important tip from the foundation up, start with some appropriate footwear and go from there. Till next time, peace, love, and all that old school stuff.